Welcome back to Electrified Reviews. My name is Mitch, and this right here is the Sinch.2 from Aventon. The Sinch was a very popular bike. Is the Sinch.2 going to be just as popular? Well, let's jump into the specs and find out. So you want a bike that'll make you feel like you're Lance Armstrong on steroids, but without actually having to train like him? Well, look no further than the Sinch.2. With its sleek design and top-notch features, this bike is sure to come in first in several categories, following all the rules along the way. With a price tag of $17.99, it'll cost you less than a blood doping laboratory. And if you want to know more about it, which, let's be real, you do, check out electrifiedreviews.com. Trust us, it's worth it and legal. The Sinch.2 features a 48-volt, 500-watt brushless rear hub motor with a torque sensor offering 750 watts of peak wattage. Peak wattage, folks. Now, we're big fans of torque sensors in general because it provides a more natural riding experience. It amplifies the force that you put on the pedal versus a cadence sensor, which just measures the speed at which the crank arms are moving. And if you're feeling extra lazy, and no judgment here, just rip the throttle and let the bike do all the work. It's like having a personal chauffeur, but much cooler and much more affordable. We all know that feeling of dread when our phone battery is running low. Imagine that, but with your bike. Well, fear not, because the Sinch.2's battery is lithium-ion, 48 volts, 14 amp hours, 672 total watt hours. It uses LG cells, offering up to 55 miles of range when using pedal assist and 22 miles with throttle only. Now, you're more likely to get less than that if the conditions aren't ideal, but Aventon is one of the better companies out there when it comes to range estimates. The cells are up to UL certification standards, and you're probably going to be hearing us talk more about that this year, so keep all this UL cert stuff in mind going forward. Charging time is about 5 hours with the included 48-volt 3-amp charger, so if you're one of those weirdos who only needs 5 hours of sleep, you could wake up with an e-bike that's ready to get rolling. Plus, there's some nifty features like a USB port for your devices and an app to track your battery life, which is genius. The Sinch.2 sports a 6061 single-butted aluminum alloy frame with an internal battery, providing a sleek look without compromising any of the functionality. The folding design allows for easy storage and transportation, and its step-through frame ensures accessibility for riders for different sizes and abilities. The bike itself weighs about 66 pounds and can scoot around up to about 300 pounds. Both the saddle and handlebars are adjustable, so again, this is a bike that could fit a ton of folks. With folding dimensions of 46 inches by 28 inches by 30 inches, this is a bike that will fit into quite a few areas. The RST front fork has about 45 millimeters of travel and comes with a lockout option. And as you can tell with some of the riding that we did, we took it on tons of grass, dirt, and such places, so I can say that the suspension did really well. It would probably be a cool bike without it, but it's a huge bonus in the ride feel department. The saddle here was great for me and my sit bones, but I see a lot of people upgrading to a larger, more comfort-style seat as we did on previous Sinches. The 20x4 RE-Sun K rubber tires are definitely one of the sexier looking e-bike tires we've seen. Now, I'm a big fan of the gumwall look, so I was pleased to see them here. You know, they absorb a lot of the road, and even though this is technically a hardtail, it felt more like riding on a cloud. Equipped with mechanical disc brakes, the Sinch.2 provides reliable stopping power throughout all the riding we did with it. Now, you must know what's coming next. A hydraulic brake PSA. Is that what you guessed? You must be one of those die-hard fans. But yeah, we'd love to see hydraulic brakes added here, and for me, probably the only real miss from a specs perspective. The mechanical ones here worked well, and they have motor cutoff inhibitors built in, so definitely not a safety issue, but if we're adding something to our list or shooting over to Santa in a few months, it's hydraulic brakes. The 8-speed drivetrain features a 52-tooth chainring up front, which pairs nicely with the torque sensor, like white wine and fish, or beer and, I guess, every other food. The 8-speed trigger shifters were smooth, and we didn't have to adjust anything out of the box, and coming from someone who's assembled a metric ton of e-bikes lately was a godsend. We have a wide variety of gears, so ghost pedaling wasn't an issue here at all. Now, who says you can't have it all? With the Sinch.2, you get more than just a bike. You get a whole package of extras to make the ride even better. There are built-in front and rear lights to keep you safe and visible in low-light conditions, so you can ride day or night. And if you're worried about getting mud on your back, fear not, the Sinch.2 also comes standard with sleek fenders to keep you clean and dry. Plus, there's lots of fun extras, like a smartphone app to track your rides and customize your settings, and even a rear rack for all your gear, carrying up to 55 pounds. The cockpit might not seem like the most exciting thing in the world, but trust us, it's important. The Sinch.2 cockpit is top-notch. With comfortable adjustable handlebars and nice grips, you'll feel like you're holding a cloud. Yes, another cloud reference. We're really committed to this. Plus, the display is easy to read and intuitive to use, so you won't be fumbling with buttons while you ride, and it's the perfect balance of style and function. Even on a hot Texas day, you can still see the screen clearly if you're, not wearing polarized sunglasses. The Aventon Sinch.2 is a versatile, compact, and fun e-bike suitable for urban riders, off-road explorers, RVers, and even casual riders. With its folding design, 4-inch fat tires, and torque sensor, it provides a unique and enjoyable riding experience. The added rear rack and fenders mean you can carry everything you need while staying protected from the elements, so while I see this being more for the casual RVers, you could customize it to pretty much do anything you'd like, as long as it involves riding a bike. Speaking of riding, let's head outside for the ride test. Hey guys, Mitch again here. Just want to let you know that in the month of April, we've already given away a couple of e-bikes, and if you'd like to be the next person to win an e-bike, make sure you head over to electrifiedreviews.com, sign up for your free account, and we might be sending you the next free e-bike. Now back to the review. All right guys, we are out here on the ride test for the Sinch.2 from Aventon. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Now we do have a throttle right over here. Let's use that just to get going. We do have it in the highest setting here, turbo mode, and this should get us up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. There we go. Beautiful. You can do this all day, all day. Now, the grips that we have here, they don't have a locking point on it, but they are pretty handy. Oh. Just some fellow e-bikers out there on the road, guys. Texas is getting with it, the e-bike revolution. As I was saying, there aren't any locking mechanisms on here, but these grips do not move. So even though that's something I normally comment on and say, oh, I'd want, locking grips, maybe I would just for the ease of mind, but these things aren't, they're not moving at all. I'll pop off the trailer on this side. Get back up to 20. Now, what I like about the Sinch is sometimes we don't have adjustable handlebars up here, and there's not very much variation as far as how high we can raise the seat on bikes like this. But because we do have the adjustable handlebars here, a super low step through, about 15 inches or so, and then we've got a lot of adjustability with the seat, this is a bike that could be fit for pretty much everybody. Just to give you a demo of that, let's go ahead and pull on the brakes here. Nice, easy stopping. Pull over to the side a little bit. Now, because the battery is up here in the down tube, we don't have to worry about, sometimes, the batteries will be back here, kind of limits our adjustability with the seat, but because that's up there, it doesn't. So we got plenty of adjustability as far as the seat height goes, and then up here in the front, you come over here, pop this down. We get, where's the minimum, the maximum line right there. I mean, that's pretty crazy as far as the height goes. And the nice thing is, it does come back a little bit too. I say nice thing, for somebody else who kind of wants that reach to be maybe a little bit more out there. It would be cool if we had a straight stem, but it does come with the angled stem. Now we can kind of cruise around with our kickstands up. It's always good. And you kind of get this cruiser, choppery kind of vibe. If you guys watched any of these reviews, you know that I pretty much tend to do this on every bike. Not because this is how I would ride it, although this is fairly comfortable for me. Hands are kind of straight out there. As far as maneuverability goes, plenty of maneuverability. As you saw in the intro or some of the riding shots in there, we were taking it kind of off-road. Nothing crazy, but we were off-road, we were in the dirt, and this thing's got some maneuverability to it. Torque sensor at work here, so we'll slow down again. Now you see I'm starting to pedal, kind of a lower cadence, not really giving me anything from that. I'm gonna pedal the same speed, but I'm just gonna put more force into it, and then it takes off. So it's a much more natural ride feel when you have a nice torque sensor in there as opposed to just cadence pedal assist. Now, one of the things that's weird, and I don't think I mentioned this on any other bike, so just to let you know how different this is than maybe other bikes, is the Sinch.2 coasts really well. And I mean that in the fact that it just seems to keep going and going. So we'll be going like this. Now we're going to a little bit of a headwind. It's might be the best example. But you stop pedaling, the freewheel back there sounds pretty nice. Nothing. And when we were riding around, I was doing some of my initial testing. I was like, this coasts really well. And like I said, I don't normally comment on that on a ride test, but for some reason, something about the coasting here just caught my attention. Put it back down to a more reasonable lower height. Now these tires are more of a street tread. They're not straight, you know, flat. They got a little bit of grip to them, but nothing too aggressive as far as the tread goes. And so taking it on spots like this still feels really good. Still feels like I've got plenty of control. Yeah, this is all right. As far as the hill test goes, we don't have a whole lot of good hills in Texas, or here in Houston at least. You know, if we were in East Texas, maybe. But let's see if we can't do some sort of grade here. Using those brakes to get down here nice and easy. Do a little cruising. Yeah, having the torque sensors is just a game changer. You know, before I rode one, I was like, what's the big deal? Now that I've ridden some, I'm like, okay, torque sensors are dope. Torque sensors are dope. Now, I may have mentioned it in the review, but the suspension here is nice. Not a crazy amount of suspension up front, but with the fat tires and having that little bit of suspension, it definitely makes a difference. Go ahead and go through this raging river right here. And I'm gonna shift down. Now, this isn't necessarily a hill, but it's an incline. Let's see if we can notice any slowing down with the motor. Okay, I guess we'll shift up a little bit. Just cruising right up it. Again, not very steep, but it is a little bit of an incline. But throttle only, we're gonna accelerate all the way up till 20 miles per hour, even going on a slight uphill. Maneuverability, yep. This is my maneuverability corner right here. You can't lean too much into it because you'll smash your face into that tree, and that would not be fun unless you're into that sort of stuff. As I was saying, one of the things that might be a little confusing is having the thumb throttle next to your trigger shifters right here. And every once in a while I'll go to, you know, kind of hit it. There's no, if you're used to it, I'll say that. If you're used to it, you probably wouldn't notice it. You could probably adjust to it. But we're on a bunch of different bikes all the time. You know, recently I think we've been on some that have the Shimano SIS index thumb shifters on there. So going to triggers and the thumb throttle all right here feels a little bit cluttered. But like I said, once you get used to it, just boom, you're down here, you're shifting down here, you're up here for the thumb throttle. The thumb throttle doesn't interact or touch the paddles there, but if it did, both of those things are adjustable if you needed to, you know, move it around a little bit. Cruising, going top speed, staying in control. Even in the loose gravel, we're stopping really well. Fun bike to ride around on, super approachable, again with the 15-inch standover height. The display is nice. They've also got, you know, app integration. We haven't talked too much about the Aventon app, but a lot of the bikes they're coming out with, if not all of the new bikes, all have app integration with them. So if you're somebody who likes your tech, like tech in your bike, connections to the phone and all that jazz, Aventon's got an app for that as well. The display is nice. And now I'm wearing polarized sunglasses, so if you guys have ever tried to use a screen, polarized sunglasses, you know, it's kind of hard to see, but I pop those off, boom. Super bright, super easy to see, and it's like, you know, noon on a Texas day, and we are still able to see the display really well. Now this is a bike I could definitely see being used for, you know, scooting around campgrounds. I think the original Sinch step-through was a pretty popular RV e-bike. It's not super heavy, weighs about 68 pounds, or the new one weighs 68 pounds. So I think that this would also kind of fall into that, you know, RV travel category, folds up really well. Now there's lots of people online who do, you know, some cool mods. If you guys want to go check out, oh, there's 4 baby ducks. Did you guys see that? There's 4 baby ducks. Excuse me. Look at that. These ducks are notoriously, I don't want them to hear it, but they're notoriously bad at kind of hatching ducks. They usually lay all their eggs over there somewhere, And you know, you go check on it, it's like, oh, there's 4, and then you come back, oh, there's 2. Oh, there's no more eggs, but there's no more baby ducks. So it's cool to see E4 made it. Strong-willed. Enough Nat Geo, back to the EV stuff. Go ahead and take it off the curb here real quick. See how she handles taking a little drop. Too easy, too easy. Right. It also is nice that we have fenders here. You know, we've been getting a lot of bikes that don't have fenders. I don't know if I understand that, because most people, they order the bike and they're like, all right, where can I get some fenders for it? So people want fenders. Brent is listening. They're putting some fenders on there, which is great. I like the rack on the back. It is, you know, a little bit more on the smaller, compact side, but it's got this, you know, cool little track here for putting some stuff on here. Nice handle, and yeah, it just looks a little bit beefier than most racks. And it's pretty much just the top. So if you look at it from the bottom, tell this is something similar that we've seen on a lot as far as like thickness goes. But then you've got this nice rack on top. So I'm a big fan of that. And the tires while we're down here. I like the tires. But, I mean, as far as ride feel goes, I think I said that in the beginning, and as we've been riding for a couple minutes here, I could just sit here holding the throttle, ride all day long. Because it's comfortable. You know, the saddle's comfortable, the geometry's comfortable. The grips, I mean, the grips aren't necessarily like comfortable, but I've got a really good grip there, so I'm not getting any rubbing. You know, even when we're going on some of the, you know, bumpier stuff, you know, sometimes you get the movement or the rub. I'm not talking about barbecue. Pedaling. Now, one of the things that I love about this bike is the fact that we don't have any ghost pedaling. So we got the torque sensor. We've got good enough gearing for the speeds that we're going to just be able to pedal, you know, naturally. And that is pretty dope. Now, ghost pedaling generally is something that is pretty easy to fix, you know, depending on a couple factors. Generally, you can swap out, get a better chain ring, retune the derailleur, and boom, you are, you know, better tuned. But when a bike comes and it's already got some decent gearing to it, that is sweet. And I don't know if it's just the torque sensor, you know, because this is only a 500 watt motor. And I say only because, you know, generally people are looking for 750s. Basically in America, it's like, what's just under illegal? I want to do that. And so, even though this is a 500 watt motor, it still has quite a bit of pep, especially with that torque sensor. Take it. Woo! Whoa! Okay, a little hop there. Little hop. Woo! Yeah. Woo! All right. Get some air, brother. Woo! Well, we didn't get air that time. That being said, guys, I think that is going to do it for our review of the Sinch.2. And if you can still hear me over the headwind that came out of nowhere, if you guys want to check out Aventon, you can head over to Aventon.com. We'll have a link somewhere down below. If you want to check out the latest deals, all that good stuff. If you want to compare this to, you know, the old Sinch or other bikes that are sort of in this category, you can head over to electrifiedreviews.com, add it to a compare list, see how they stack up against each other. Guys, that is going to do it for me. I love talking to you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. In conclusion, the Sinch.2 is the electric bike of your dreams, if a new folding Aventon bike is what you dream about. With its powerful motor, long-lasting battery, and top-of-the-line features, it's the perfect ride for anyone who wants to feel the thrill of the ride without breaking a sweat, unless you want to, of course. Or live in Florida, in which case you'll sweat just walking to the garage. And at electrifiedreviews.com, you can get all the info you need to compare this with similar e-bikes and make an informed decision, so what are you waiting for? Hop on the Sinch.2 and let the good times roll. Or ride, I guess.